Keely's Horsey podcasting, galloping in every week. Alex shares the laughter and cheer, just for Keely's ears to hear.
Welcome everyone to the show. I'm your host, Jean, and today we're talking about something super important for all you horse lovers out there: senior horse care.
And to help us unpack this topic, I'm thrilled to welcome Billie, an expert in equine health. Hi, Billie. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Jean. It's great to be here and chat about senior horses. It's a topic close to my heart, and it's becoming more and more relevant as our horses are living longer.
Absolutely. I mean, it's wonderful that our horses are living longer, but it also means we need to be clued up on how to best care for them as they age. So, Billie, let's start with the basics. What exactly do we mean by a senior horse? Is it just about age?
Well, age is definitely a factor, but it's not the only thing. Generally, we start thinking about horses as senior around 15 years old, but it really varies. Think of it like people. Some horses show their age earlier than others. Breed, what they've been used for in their lives, even their individual genes all play a part.
Ah, okay. So a bit like some people get gray hairs earlier than others. So it's not a strict cutoff at 15 then?
Exactly. You might have a really hardy pony still going strong at 20, while a thoroughbred who's had a tougher, more athletic career might be showing signs of slowing down much earlier. It's about looking at the whole picture.
That makes sense. So what kind of signs should we be looking out for that tell us our horse is entering their senior years? Are there some obvious physical things we can spot?
Yeah, there are definitely some key things to watch for. One of the first things people notice is graying hair, especially around their eyes, muzzle, and forehead. Just like us getting older. You might also see a bit of a loss of muscle, a more hollow look to their face or along their back.
A hollow look, yeah, I can picture that. So it's not just the gray hairs, it's a bit more than that. What about inside? Are there changes happening that we can't see as easily?
Definitely. There are a lot of internal changes as horses age. Their digestion isn't always as efficient, so they might not absorb all the nutrients from their food as well. Their immune system can also get a bit weaker, which can make them more prone to getting infections. And, like older people, joint problems and stiffness are quite common.
Right? So it's a whole system thing, not just looking a bit grayer on the outside. It sounds like we really need to be paying closer attention as our horses get older. It's not just, oh, they're slowing down with age. It's actually recognizing potential health needs, isn't it?
Spot on. Ignoring these early signs can mean we miss things until they become bigger problems, harder to manage, and more uncomfortable for the horse. Catching things early is really key to keeping our senior horses happy and healthy for longer.
Okay, let's dive into some of those health challenges then. I know Cushing's disease, or PPID, is quite common in older horses. What exactly is that?
Yes, equine Cushing's, or PPID, is a hormonal disorder that's pretty common, especially in horses over 20. It's caused by a problem with the pituitary gland in their brain, which becomes overactive.
And what are the telltale signs for Cushing's? I've heard about the coat thing.
The coat is a big one, yeah. The classic sign is that long, wavy coat that just doesn't shed properly in the summer. It gets really thick and can look quite unusual. Other signs are drinking and peeing a lot more, sometimes unexplained weight loss even though they're eating fine, and they can be more prone to laminitis. That's a painful foot condition. Their immune system can also be weaker, so they might pick up infections more easily.
Right, the coat, the drinking, the weight. Sounds like a few things to watch out for. And is it treatable?
It can't be cured, unfortunately, but the good news is it can be managed really well with medication. The main drug is called pergolide, and we also often adjust their diet to be low in starch and sugar, especially to help prevent laminitis. Regular blood tests are important to keep an eye on their hormone levels and tweak the treatment as needed.
That's good to know it's manageable. What about breathing problems? I saw something about recurrent airway obstruction, or RAO.
RAO, sometimes called heaves or equine asthma, is a respiratory issue caused by allergies to things they breathe in, like dust and mold spores. It's not just a senior horse problem, but older horses can be more susceptible because their immune systems might be a bit less robust.
And what would we see if a horse has RAO?
Symptoms can vary. It might start with just a mild cough, but it can get much worse with labored breathing, flared nostrils, and you might see a heave line along their abdomen as they really struggle to breathe.
Oh gosh, that sounds serious. So, how do you manage RAO in senior horses?
It's all about managing their environment to reduce those allergens as much as possible. Dust-free bedding, soaking hay to reduce dust, good ventilation in the stable, and then medical treatment is often needed too, especially for seniors, as their lungs are more vulnerable. They can be more prone to secondary infections like pneumonia, so it's something to take very seriously.
Definitely sounds like it. And then there's arthritis, the bane of many older beings, human and horse alike.
Sadly, yes. Joint wear and tear is just a natural part of aging, especially for horses who've had active lives. Arthritis and things like degenerative suspensory ligament desmitis, that's a mouthful, are really common reasons why senior horses end up retiring. And often, with arthritis, you also get muscle loss, which makes things even harder for them to move around.
So, what can we do to help our horses who are getting stiff and sore joints?
It's a combination of things. Keeping them moving is still important to keep joints mobile, but it needs to be gentle, low impact exercise, and we need to be really careful not to push them too hard. Pain relief is often needed, so vets will often prescribe anti inflammatory medications. And there are joint supplements, things like glucosamine and chondroitin, that can help support joint health.
Let's switch gears to nutrition. Do senior horses need a completely different diet compared to when they were younger?
It really depends on the individual horse. Some senior horses who are still in good weight and health might not need huge changes, but often their nutritional needs do shift as they age. Dental issues become a massive factor. As horses get older, their teeth wear down, and this can cause real problems with chewing.
Ah, teeth problems, of course. I hadn't really thought about that. So, dental care becomes even more crucial as they age?
Absolutely essential. Regular dental checkups are key, ideally twice a year for senior horses to catch any problems early. Without good dental care, they can really struggle to eat properly, even if they seem hungry, and then they can lose weight and get into all sorts of other health troubles.
And if they are struggling with their teeth, what sort of food changes are we looking at?
Softer foods become really important. Things like short chopped forage, mashes, soaking their hay to soften it, these are all good options. If it's really severe, some senior horses might need complete feed replacements if they can't manage hay at all anymore.
It's all about making it easier for them to eat and digest, right? What about their metabolism? Does that change as they get older?
It can, yes. Some senior horses, especially if they are less active, might need feeds with fewer calories to avoid putting on too much weight. But then on the flip side, some seniors struggle to keep weight on, especially if they have dental issues or other health problems. That's where senior-specific commercial feeds can be really useful.
What's so special about senior feeds? What should we be looking for?
They are usually formulated to be easier to digest and packed with nutrients. Look for things like higher protein to help maintain muscle, increased fat for extra calories if they need to gain or keep weight on, boosted vitamins and minerals to support their immune system, and often they include prebiotics and probiotics for gut health. And easily digestible fiber is important too. It's really about giving them targeted nutrition for their specific needs as they age.
Makes sense. Now, what about exercise? Can we just wrap them in cotton wool once they hit senior status?
Definitely not. Keeping active is still so important for senior horses, both physically and mentally. They might not be up for jumping huge fences anymore, but gentle, regular exercise is fantastic for keeping their joints flexible, maintaining muscle tone, and just generally keeping them feeling good. Retirement doesn't have to mean becoming a couch potato.
So it's about adapting their exercise, not stopping it completely.
Exactly. Listen to your horse. Think about their health and how comfortable they are. Light exercise, gentle hacks, even just being turned out in a paddock can be hugely beneficial. It's about finding the right balance for each individual horse.
Let's talk about behavior for a moment. Do senior horses get grumpy old men, or are there other behavioral changes we might see?
Interestingly, some research actually suggests older horses can become bolder. Maybe it's from years of experience and just getting used to different situations. But it's not always a straight line. Horses in that middle age bracket, say 11 to 15, might actually be more nervous in new situations than older horses. It's thought that older horses have just learned to adapt to changes better over time.
Wow, bolder. That's not what I expected. So they become the wise old sages of the field?
In a way, yes. It's also worth remembering that how they were trained early in life really shapes their behavior long term. Horses started later in life tend to be less bold than those started younger, so early experiences really stick with them.
That's fascinating. What about their living environment? Do we need to make changes to their stables or fields as they get older?
Definitely. Think about making their lives easier and more comfortable. Shelter is really important, especially as they can become more sensitive to the weather. Blankets in the winter, shade, and fans in the summer are really helpful. And think about the ground in their fields. It should be as level and safe as possible to reduce strain on their joints.
Practical things that make a big difference. Yeah, what about inside the stable? Any tips there?
Inside, rubber mats can be great to cushion their joints. Extra deep bedding makes it easier for them to get up and down. And banking the bedding up against the walls can help prevent them getting cast. That's when they get stuck against the wall and can't get up.
All really helpful adjustments. And what about their social life? Do senior horses need different social arrangements?
Social interaction is vital for them, just like any horse. Some senior horses stay right at the top of the pecking order in the herd, but others can become more vulnerable to being bullied. You might need to think about protected feeding areas or be careful about who you put them in the field with. Being isolated can be really bad for their mental and physical health, so company is important.
It's all about creating a supportive and comfortable life for them in all areas. Finally, thinking long term, caring for a senior horse can have financial and emotional implications, can't it?
Absolutely. Senior horse care often means extra costs, special feeds, medications, more vet visits. It can all add up, and it's something owners need to plan for. And emotionally, it can be tough. Knowing when their quality of life is starting to decline is really hard, especially when we're so attached to them.
That quality of life question is so important and so difficult. Any advice on how to approach that?
Developing some clear things to look for, like their mobility, how well pain is being managed, if they are still interested in their surroundings, if they can still do basic things comfortably, can help take some of the emotion out of it and make sure decisions are made for the horse's best interest. It's about being honest with ourselves and putting their well-being first, even when it's heartbreaking.
That's such an important point to end on, Billy. Thank you so much for sharing all your expertise with us today. It's been incredibly helpful to understand all the different aspects of senior horse care.
My pleasure, Jean. It's a topic we should all be more aware of as horse owners. It's about ensuring these wonderful animals have comfortable and happy golden years.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, it's really about being proactive, spotting those subtle early signs of aging, and then adapting our care, their diet, exercise, living arrangements to support them as they change. And importantly, keeping a close eye on their overall well-being and quality of life as they get older.
Exactly. It's about seeing them as individuals, not just their age, and tailoring our care to meet their specific needs as they journey through their senior years.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Billy, for shedding so much light on senior horse care. And thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. It's a really important aspect of horse ownership, and hopefully this has given you some valuable insights to help your own senior horses thrive. Join us next time for more equine discussions.
Clip-clop goes the journey here. Keely, you've got nothing to fear. Your brother made it just for you. So here's a podcast fresh and new. Keely's Horsey podcasting, galloping in every week. Alex shares the laughter and cheer, just for Keely's ears to hear. Keely's Horsey podcasting, galloping in every week. Alex shares the laughter and cheer, just for Keely's ears to hear.